What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is episode number 27 of the viewer comment series. We're going to be doing one of these a week during the season. So guys, Tuesday is the call for questions. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Make sure you're looking at my YouTube community page, because on Tuesday mornings, that's when the call for questions is going to go out. So if you have a comment or question you want read on the show, that is the best way to get that done. All right, but not going to waste any more time. Let's just get straight into it. Of course, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please do like and subscribe. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into the video. All right, starting off here with Pick6368 over on YouTube. He asks, who do you think our next guy at wide receiver is when Lane and Lemon leave? And do you think the current wide receivers are equipped to be as good as them next year? So to address the second part first, do I think that the current guys are equipped to be as good as them next year? No, not really. I do think that they're going to be very good players, but being as good as a Makai Lemon, as a Jacoby Lane, that's a very big ask. Don't know if I'm ready to go there yet. The guy I'm highest on from the freshman is Mo Ison, just with his route running ability, his natural hands catching. But I think our number one receiver on next year's team is not on the team right now, is not a commit, but is playing for someone else. I would expect us to go hard in the transfer portal, maybe for a quarterback, definitely for a few wide receivers. That's probably where you're going to see that name come from. Next up, sticking with wide receiver talk, Marcos Toad on YouTube asks, if we see significant playtime from Tanuk Hines like lots of people are talking about, would you want him in the slot and move Lemon outside? So for me, Tanuk Hines is absolutely a slot receiver, yes. But that's the special thing about Makai Lemon. Is he the biggest guy in the world? No. But he can 100% play and win frequently outside. He's way more physical than people give him credit for. He's a very savvy route runner. He's very good making plays along the sideline. So yeah, if Tanuk Hines is going to be in there, probably going to see Lemon and Lane on the outside. Next up from Frisky Dingo over on Twitter. He says, with John Ray Reed getting beaten out by Killian O'Connor and DJ Wingfield ineligible to play, is it safe to say that this offseason was an objective failure as it pertains to how we handled the transfer portal and adding depth to our O-line? Yes, it's 100% fair to say. Because that's not all that happened. Regardless of why or what the reason was, we lost Emmanuel Pregnon to a conference foe, to a team on the schedule. When you go out and replace him with a guy who's ineligible to play, and the center that you go out and gets beaten out by a former walk-on who's 290 pounds, yes, it's absolutely a failure. Now, does that mean that the offensive line is going to be bad this year? No. Do I think this is going to be a top half of the conference offensive line? No, I do not. But to answer the question as it's written, yes, this offseason as it pertains to the O-line was a failure 100%. Next up from G Flow over on YouTube, he says, this is probably not spoken of enough, but how much of an impact do you think the addition of Chad Bowden and a beefed up staff will have on head coach Riley in terms of allowing him to be the play caller and X's and O's guru as in years past? Now, it is going to have an impact. To what extent, I have no idea. But last year when Lincoln had a bunch of stuff on his plate, his game management was terrible. Let's just be honest. He even admitted himself in that Michigan game when we had a chance to close out that one, but for some reason he decided to throw shovel passes. Don't even get me started on the Washington game. And I forget who it was that said this, and I wish I could give them credit because it's such a great way to put it. But Lincoln Riley got the coaching yips last year. Again, my apologies to whoever said that, but it's such a good way to put it that you'd have to think with Chad Bowden, with the front office all taken care of, with all that load off of his plate, maybe he'll get his swing back this year. Because the game management, the run pass splits, all of that has to improve by such a huge step. And if you're looking for reasons as to why that would happen, this is going to be reason number one on that list for me. Next up from FightOn55 over on YouTube, he says, who will get the first sack of the year? Going to go with Eric Gentry. I can see him right now coming off the edge untouched and absolutely blasting Jacob Clark. So yeah, going to go with EG on that one. Next up from Chris over on Twitter, he says, hey man, I love all the takes, not too Trojan happy or too Trojan suck. My question is, do we know how long of a contract Coach Lynn has? Was it a 1-year or multi-year deal? Thanks, man. Drove from Idaho to Cali this week to be at the season opener. Go Trojans. Well, Chris, I hope you have a fantastic time. Really appreciate the kind words as well. But for your question, with D'Anton Lynn, he could have a 1-year deal. He could have a 10-year deal. This is going to be a year-to-year thing with him. I'll say it right now. I will be flat out stunned if we still have D'Anton Lynn next year as our defensive coordinator. This defense is going to have a big year. Look at the kind of attention he was getting after year one with USC. He's going to be the biggest name on the coordinator market, and hell, he's probably even going to get a few head coaching offers. So yeah, the second the offseason starts, we have to hunker down and just be ready for that news that D'Anton Lynn is taking a job somewhere else, because he is far too brilliant, far too good of a coach to remain just a coordinator for all that much longer. Next up from Cole over on Twitter, he says, what do you want to see from the offense in the first 4 games leading up to Illinois? more running to establish O-line run blocking, more passing to get Makai settled in and establish O-line pass blocking. So the question you're asking is, what do you want to see from the offense? But what I feel like you're really asking is, what do we need to shore up before that big game at Champaign? Like, I want to see this offense run the ball and run it a lot. But if there's one thing I'm not too concerned with this offensive line, it actually is the run blocking. Yeah, they need to develop more chemistry and get more game reps with each other, but I'm not doubting their ability as run blockers. So while I don't want to see us pass more than run, we have to get the offensive line a lot of pass blocking reps, because that's where the struggle is going to come for this group. Killian O'Connor was really bad in pass protection last year. Same thing with Alani Noah. Same thing with Tobias Raymond. So we need to see a massive step in that area, and that starts in those first 4 games. So to answer your question as it's written, I want to see us run the ball. I want to see us pound it against all 4 of those teams. But at the same time, I'm going to be fascinated to watch how that offensive line settles in and how they gel together. Next up, from SoCal Flow over on Twitter, he says, pull yourself away from being a fan and look at us like if you were looking at a team ranked in the teens or 20s. Objectively, do you trust Lincoln Riley in year 4 to go to the playoff? I don't want to hear wait till next year. Next year is right now, and I don't care previous missteps. So, being objective, taking off my cardinal and gold colored glasses, no, I do not trust Lincoln Riley to go to the playoff in year 4. How can you trust someone to do something that they haven't done? Now, he went to the playoffs at Oklahoma. Obviously, that's not what we're talking about. Vegas has us at a 7.5 win total. I don't like the depth in a lot of areas on this team. Until we see it, the defensive line is a lot of projection. No one has any clue what we're going to see from Jaden Makai. This team could be 6-6 or it could be 11-1. No one has any idea what we're going to see this year. So yeah, there's no way you can just blindly trust that Lincoln Riley's going to go to the playoff this year at USC. He hasn't shown it. This group of players haven't shown it. And yeah, we have to be very much in wait and see mode. Next up, from Nicholas Keenan over on YouTube, he says, if you could meet one USC football player, past or present, who would he be? Easy, Marcus Allen, coolest USC player of all time, without a doubt. Meeting Marcus would be a dream come true for me. He was way before my time when he actually played at USC, because I was born in 1998. But yeah, easily the coolest player in the history of USC football, in my opinion. All right, and lastly, from Keep Quiet Please over on YouTube, he says, if there was one thing you could change about the current state of college football, what would you change? So for those of you that are familiar with European soccer, if one team wants to buy a player from another team, the team that's buying has to pay a significant fee to the team that's losing the player, and that fee has to be agreed on. What that would mean in college football sense is if Washington State develops John Mateer, they don't lose him for nothing. Oklahoma would have had to pay a significant fee that they would have to agree on in order for John Mateer to be released and transferred to Oklahoma. I'm sick and tired of seeing these little schools that are really good development programs like Washington State, like Cal, like North Texas, schools like that. They should be rewarded for developing these players that are going to bigger and better schools. Them putting in all those man hours, all of that work to get these players better, for them just to up and leave, it's a bullshit system. So that's the one thing I would change about college football. I would implement transfer fees between universities, between NIL programs. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I think it's a very interesting conversation. And yeah, if you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys being here. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.